Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda. This is Kevin
Hi there.
with A. Smith Gallery, and we're really happy today to have with us all the way from Japan, Tom Burke.
Welcome, Tom. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So, Tom received the Jurors Award in the water exhibition that was, well, maybe a few months back. It was juried by Catherine Couturier. And Kevin,
I'm going to read Tom's
bio.
bio.
What's over here?
Here it is. There we go. Thomas Burke is a retired office worker and 20 plus year resident of Japan. Tom has been interested in photography for as long as he can remember. He took many classes at School of Visual Arts in New York City back in the 90s in black and white photography and darkroom. He also attended workshops at Main Media as well as workshops with Keith Carter and Todd Hito. Tom currently splits his time between Tokyo and the countryside where he and his wife manage a small organic farm. Great. Well, if you'd like to read your artist statement for us, that'd be great. And
Okay,
anything
sure.
else you'd like to say. So,
Okay, sure. Um, the series that we'll look at later is called Days Between Stations. The name comes from a book by Steve Erickson. I'm a big fan of Steve Erickson. Uh, he's it's a little hard to describe. He gets compared to Thomas Pynchon, but he has a different angle on and things. And in Days Between Stations, there's a lot happening, and one of the themes is the world sort of slowing down, and sand blows in from the desert, and the highways into Los Angeles are blocked, and things that seemed well connected the way it is right now, things become further and further apart. And I started working on some photos, and I was sort of thinking of that distances becoming further apart. And as I was looking at the work that was coming out, I was not consciously doing it, but I was really making locations ambiguous. I was trying to take context out of things, and I started thinking of that book about the kind of moving between places, but it's so much further, and where you are is not clear, and that's sort of what I was thinking of as it came together. I had a show of the work last March in Tokyo, um, and uh, that's what I have.
great,
So
great. All right. Well, what we're going to do next is we're going to screen share your images. These these are right up our alley. We really like these images and really really well done. So, you want to tell us a little bit about, for example, where were these shot
In the process.
and the
uh,
process,
Yeah.
if you'd like
Just
to.
get that out of the way.
Yeah.
okay, sure. Most of the photos are done with Diana camera. A few using some other, mostly old equipment, old East German or old Soviet era cameras. But this one was Diana, and this was in the great state of Texas.
Oh,
I
really?
had driven through yeah, that's in on the way to Lubbock. It's between Big Spring and Lubbock. Um,
It's
and I
a
did
grain dryer of some sort, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I did a trip through Texas last year, and as I was driving, I saw something. The land's all flat there, and there's you can see for miles and miles, and there's this strange thing in the distance, and I kept trying to find which road to take to get to it, and then I parked the car and just sort of stared at it for a while, and then took a series of pictures, and this is one of them.
You know, Keith Carter is one of our favorite photographers, and we know him somewhat. How much of an influence did he have on this work?
I think he's great. Uh, he had a couple good suggestions on some things that I was doing, and also some things that maybe I was doing that maybe you might want to rethink, that maybe not do it all the time. So I thought he was very helpful. I like his work a lot too.
Well, how about a question?
I,
Tom, was there a gradual coming to the style and process of these images, influenced by workshops, etc., or was reading Days Between Stations the primary influence?
I think the style I've been working on for a while, the kind of that blurry look, kind of taking the Diana camera and then kind of maybe pushing it further in the dark room to make it even more ambiguous, more unclear. Uh, I think what I I did in this series and what was probably influenced by some of the workshops was to simplify things as simplify things much further and try to take out anything that's really not essential. I don't know if that's coming from a Japan point of view from being here for so long, but I tried to in this image here there's actually a lot of junk all over. If I pulled the camera back a few more feet, but I tried to just get the essence of the thing that I found interesting.
Well, they're fantastic. Are you familiar with the photogravure process?
Uh, I was signed up for a workshop this year for that, and it was canceled due to, I guess, insufficient student interest. But I'm very interested in trying that.
Boy, these these images made as photogravures would be fabulous.
Mhm.
Well, I'd like to try that. And I was talking to someone locally here in Japan who does that type of thing, and want to see if I can make that one of my winter projects.
Yeah, it's yeah, these would really be standouts. Yeah, there is a simplicity to your images akin to the Japanese aesthetic, which you just mentioned. How has living in Japan influenced your work?
I think what you said is um, the key thing of that traditional Japanese art of simplifying down as much as possible. And I do try to do that and think about that often as I'm pulling something together.
So how did you end up in Japan?
Um, I I was interested in Japan for a long time. Um, when I lived in New York, I actually used to play in a Japanese noise band, and I had Japanese friends. And I had an office job that I didn't like, and I was thinking about how to get out of this mess. And they had an office in Japan, and they were having some issues where they needed some help. And I thought, well, maybe I can create a job for myself. And I talked to them, and went over for a couple trips to help, and I was useful enough that I was asked to stay for a year. We'll stay for another year, and then it became 20 years.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. And you speak Japanese?
I speak Japanese, but not perfect Japanese, and my wife sometimes rolls her eyes that I do so well. To be able to nail things exactly perfectly, but I speak enough to be fully functional, and um, but sometimes to express something in a more nuanced way, I don't always get that.
Yeah. I really like this image.
Mhm.
This is a great image.
And it really reminds me of Keith Carter too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah, the minimalist nature of all these is really, really wonderful. And these done on as photogravures on a really nice matte paper with good ink would be really, really something.
Yeah, I definitely like to try. Another one of my winter projects is the learning the bromoil process.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that would be cool too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gonna try that. I just got the kit sent in last week. It took a while to get it through customs, and I'll probably in the next month or so start that.
What are we actually looking at here?
That's a ship called the MS Philippines.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah.
it was docked behind a hotel in Manila, and it used to be an Italian liner from the 50s and 60s. It did route from Rome to, I think, Rio de Janeiro. And then it struggled as Jeff took over, and kind of went to more budget routes. But it was a really cool ship, and people had dreams of refurbishing it, turning it into some kind of retro cruise ship. But it just sat there behind the hotel with the the money not coming and the rust eating through the hull. And eventually, a few years ago, it was scrapped. But it was just a really super cool ship.
Wonderful.
I did another version of this where I just walked like 5 steps to the right, and it looked totally different. I used that picture. That was in the crappy camera show this year in New York, but it just a few steps changed the whole look of the picture.
Huh.
Right, right. And these two shapes here, this one and this one,
Mm-hmm.
they really add balance to that image.
That's your great state of Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like Texas.
Yeah, that was old film that the backing paper printed through.
Ah.
Wonderful. Yeah, like this one, that bromo process would be,
It would
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah, wonderful. Where was this shot?
That was shot in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Well, how about another question? The way you've treated the images gives them emotional power, much like film noir stills, beyond more just straight images. You have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I love old movies, and I love that look, and I'm sort of searching for that kind of feel. Um, my father was really into military history, and he had these old books of uh, naval ships from the like 1800s, 1900s, but the pictures are all taken from distance. You're not allowed to get close to the base, and I always thought they were so mysterious. And then there'd be a stamped in comment of sunk May 12th, 1905 or something, and I I, I said I'd love to get that look of how they their old pictures, and and but that look was something I still remember and still kind of strive for.
Great. Yeah, this is really nice. Yeah, the simplicity is just wonderful. It's the moodiness. I mean, it's that emotional quality that is so uh, it draws you into the images. So how were you, what type of work were you doing prior to this project?
Um, it was kind of similar with the blurriness, but it was more straight representational, and it was the more recent that I tried to try to simplify things and try to just eliminate the context around it as much as possible, and just where are you, what is when is this, nothing, try to make that unclear.
That's great. Yeah, just
They're very lonely.
well, the subtle, just
Yeah. Where'd the
yeah,
people go?
yeah, where are the people and the subtle changes in tone? They're wonderful. So do you have any kind of an art background at all?
Not really. I have a degree in math.
Uh, so what are we looking at here?
This was just sort of messed up development. Uh, uh, I was uh, pulling the print out of the developer before it was finished. Sometimes it looks okay. Sometimes you get it to work. Sometimes it's just sort of a mess. The actual location is in Greenpoint in Brooklyn, New York.
Nice. Wow.
Love that one.
That's absolutely has a Japanese aesthetic to it.
Yeah, I think so too. The location I think is Tbilisi again. It might be Armenia. I think it's Tbilisi.
Very, very nice. Yeah, these are all just wonderful.
That location is Armenia, Yerevan, Armenia, and in this one I've been trying bleaching negatives, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's just a disaster. You can only do it once because it's the negative. But one of my favorite photographers is James Fee, and I had talked to him before he passed away, and he said one of the things he does is this bleaching of the negatives. And if you're familiar with his work, he gets this really dark look sometimes.
So is that what caused this in here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
How large do you print these?
These were 11 by 14s for the show. Sometimes smaller is better. I might be doing something in March next year, and the gallery owner was saying smaller might be better, more like the images that are on 8 by 10 or so.
Hmm. And you've had a show of this in Japan already?
Yeah, I did Days to Between Stations last year, and then I had a different series just a few weeks ago. It finished. That was called Monuments.
And how was that received?
Oh, that went really well. I was a little surprised that it went so well. And the thing that I'm talking about for March is kind of follow up from that. Someone liked it and would like me to do something at her gallery. So I
Wonderful.
was pleasantly surprised. That's right down the street from where I'm sitting right now. It was on a snowy day, and also is a messed up film developing.
Well, it works. Yeah, these are really, really nice. And what is this structure?
It's on a ship. It was a ferry in I think it was on the um, Irrawaddy River in Myanmar several years ago. That the location here is Newark, New Jersey. It's the Pulaski Skyway. Um, when I mentioned the office job, this was on my commute to the office job in Newark,
Uh,
and I was really depressed at that time with I took a job that I shouldn't have taken, and what do I do? And then on the train into Newark, it's a reverse commute, so there's nobody on the train in the morning. And I remember sitting by the window, just watching things go by, and took some pictures, and that was sort of my mood at that time.
Are you familiar with the painter Turner?
Yeah.
This looks like something he would have done if he worked in black and white. This is great. Wow. Well, I think that's our last one.
Far away, huh?
So what are you working on now?
I'm doing more of the kind of minimal nature ones right now. I wanted to finish a series of that kind of things like that one we saw with the light bulbs strung across. Just
Right.
I think no, I kind of want to mix in like that one, like that one, and kind of mix in man-made things with natural, and trying to work on that right now. I
And in the
also I
same style, in the same style
yeah,
as, yeah.
pretty pretty much pretty much the same style. Uh, I also want to do a book. I've been thinking about that, and when I did the show recently, I got a lot of questions about that. Do you have anything for sale, a book for sale? And I said, no, I've been thinking about it. So that another winter project is I'd like to work on that. I've got enough photos. What I'd like to do is have a page of writing, a paragraph or so, that goes along with each one
I
of
think that
the
would be wonderful. Yeah.
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 in progress right now.
And would you do the writing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got maybe a dozen or so things, pieces written, and I'll probably do it in English and Japanese. So I'll have someone help me make sure I get the Japanese right. Um, there's a book, The Rings of Saturn by W.G. Sebald. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, no.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's
It's
the
called The Rings of Saturn. Is that what you said?
uh, uh, The Rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just a wonderful book, my favorite book. And in his book, it's mostly text, it's mostly words, but he mixes in pictures. So it's 95% words, 5% text, but it's just fantastic. And the photography is really good as well. And I was wondering also, how did you get that look in the photos? It fits the word so perfectly. And in an interview, he said, "Oh, it's one of those disposable Kodak cameras you get in the '90s." Then I just ran things through the copy machine 2 or 3 times until they were blurry enough.
Well, good for him.
But
Perfect.
it's a wonderful book, wonderful book.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, you hit a home run on these. These are really, really nice.
Thank you.
Well, anything else you'd like to say?
No, no, this has been great. Thank you so much.
Well, we really appreciate you doing this and supporting the gallery. So you're also in the organic farming business.
Yeah, yeah, kind of half in that. Um, the plan was that we'd have a kind of full-time working farm once I kind of quit the office job. But then we've been kind of rethinking a little bit. It's been really hot the last 2 summers. You're from Texas, so you're
Oh
feeling
yeah,
this.
yeah,
But for I was finding it difficult to do as much as needed to be done because of the heat, and we might kind of scale it down and just you know do things for ourselves and give away vegetables to friends and things as opposed to doing it professionally.
yeah. Well, cool. Well, Tom, it's been great talking to you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks again for doing this.
Thank you,
And good luck with everything. We look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You take care.